Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button. Rigged. We have a bunch of breaking stories to get to right now, so let's do this. Mike Pence just made a huge promise to every American. The media hates it. And so long, Democrats just betrayed Pelosi in the worst way, and her response is ridiculous. Also, Obama's freaking out about what the Senate might have coming for him. Pretty interesting, that one. So, let's get into it. Mike Pence has made a huge promise to every American. The media hates it. By Emily Noack. Vice President Pence promised to deliver on some huge savings to Americans during a speech at a National Associations to Manufacturers Summit on Tuesday. Those savings will mainly come in the form of tax cuts and replacing Obamacare and its out-of-control price hikes. There's expected to be wide disagreements within the GOP over the direction and the scope of the new health care plan, but Pence vowed to have an Obamacare replacement before the summer is over. The Senate is currently working on its Obamacare replacement and will hopefully vote on it by July 4th. Once it passes the Senate, it will go to the House. And with enough support, with enough support from Congress, President Trump can sign it into law. Equally exciting, Pence promised that we will have our tax cuts before 2018, saying we will get tax cuts done, and we will get them done this year. This is all part of the President Trump's plan to boost the American economy and spur job creation by putting more money into the pockets of the average person and business. The new tax plan has yet to be fully developed, but we know for sure the Republicans are committed to a 15% corporate tax rate, which could lead to a huge savings to consumers and lead to more job creation. We don't know yet if the tax plan will involve a full-scale tax reform or only tax cuts, but Liberty Writers and Not Fake News will keep a close eye on it for any developments, so stay tuned. And let's face it, any savings we can get will be a big win for the American people. You can watch Pence's entire speech here. It's a knockout. Let's see how long it is. That's a biggie. The media likes to bash the Trump administration, but Mike Pence just set us all straight. The government is still working hard to deliver Americans to the change we deserve, and we can expect major tax and healthcare reform very soon. Share this 10,000 times so everyone knows what's really going on. Yeah, we're going to go on to the next one. So long, Democrats just betrayed Pelosi in the worst way. Her response? Ridiculous, of course, by Emily Noack. Democrats are finally wisening up to their leadership failures in the wake of John Dry-Your-Ass-Off's epic loss to Karen Handel's during the Georgia 6th Congressional District special election. And it looks like Nancy Pelosi is taking the heat. I told you they throw them into the fire when they get a certain age in Democratic, and if they have something on them, they just throw them right into the jackals and the wolves. They don't care. That's why they put her out there to say all these crazy things. Tim Ryan, Democratic from Ohio, left the Democratic caucus meeting on Wednesday saying, "We better take a long, good, strong look in the mirror and realize that the problem is us. It's the party. No kidding. Looks like after dumping tens of millions of dollars into failed Ossoff campaign, who says leftist wants to pay money out of politics, the Democrats are doing some soul searching. Seth Moulton concurred with Representative Ryan. We need to have a plan. We need to have a vision. We need to tell Americans why Democrats will be better, not just why Trump is bad. And I don't think we're doing enough of that. And I think that it's evident in this Georgia race. Considering Ossoff was initially running under the slogan, "Make Trump Furious," I tend to agree. Ossoff was hammered hard in the debates and advertisements about his connections to Nancy Pelosi, a decidedly unthinkable character, who for some reason is still House Minority Speaker. Check out this clip of Karen Handel crushing John Ossoff for his Pelosi ties during a debate. She brings the beat down at about 106. I like that.
I guess what I would like to know is exactly who are you going to vote for in this election?
Is that the question? Okay. Well, I think Secretary Handel's referring to my residence, which is a matter that I've addressed transparently throughout this campaign. I grew up in the 6th Congressional District. I was born and raised in Georgia, unlike Secretary Handel, who was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I live across from Emory University to support my fiancée while she finishes medical school. I'm proud to be supporting her career, even if I take a little bit of political heat for it. Secretary Handel, born and raised in Washington, D.C., seems to have spent much of her career determined to return. And it's typical of a career politician, I think, to focus on something like this, rather than the matters of concern to the people of the 6th District. How are we going to attract more jobs and investment to this community? How are we going to make sure that young people who are getting educations for the jobs of the future in our tech sector are able to succeed and apply their talents here at home? These are the questions of concern to the voters of the 6th District.
Actually, it is of concern to the people of the 6th District that you do not live in our community. And while I was born in Washington, D.C., I didn't get to pick where I was born. But the fact is, I've been in Georgia for almost as long as you've even been alive.
Ouch.
You might live just 5 minutes outside of the district, but your values are nearly 3,000 miles away in San Francisco. And that's why so many of your contributions have come from liberals of California, New York, and Massachusetts. It's why you're supported by Nancy Pelosi. And folks, it matters. It's no wonder that my opponent didn't want to do the Atlanta Press Club debate. It was going to be aired on CNN, where all folks from around the country, all of his liberal supporters were going to see it, and the fake John Ossoff was going to collide with the real John Ossoff, who is a Nancy Pelosi-backed liberal.
Well, I'd be happy to respond. One of the things that I learned growing up in this community is that folks are concerned with real issues that affect them. Healthcare, education, jobs here in this community. And Secretary Handel has a lot of partisan attacks that she's launching, but she hasn't provided any explanation for how she's going to serve the people of this community. She's a career politician who's dead set on imposing her own views on this community, whether it's gutting protections for people who need protection from price increases if they have pre-existing conditions, whether it's defunding life-saving breast cancer screenings at Planned Parenthood, whether it's endorsing a tax reform proposal before we even know what its impact on deficits and growth would be. What we need is an independent voice, substantively focused on the issues of concern to this community, not another career politician who's run 6 times for 5 different offices. Ms. Handel, 30 seconds.
Thank you. Well, he got a lot more than that, so I'll take about the same time as he did, if you don't mind. My record is one of results in the private sector and in public service. As chairman of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, I was able to balance a budget without tax increases. And John, I did that without a Republican majority working with Democrats. As CEO of the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, I helped create tens of thousands of jobs with the Economic Development Program. My opponent here, he just talks about it. He talks about cutting spending. I've actually done it, reducing the budget in the Secretary of State's office by nearly 20%. What we need is someone who knows how to get the job done, someone with real experience. What we don't need is a career staffer who was a junior staffer for Hank Johnson.
Boom! Explosion to the power. Like her. Where was I during that? Oh my lord, I love it. Lachlan McLanish, a Democratic strategist related to the Times. Can't ignore how unpopular their leadership is with many voters. One South Carolina Democrat running for Congress in 2018 gets it, claiming he will vote against Pelosi and the Speaker if he gets elected. The Democratic Party needs new leadership now. If elected, I will not vote for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. Time to move forward and win again. And what did Nancy Pelosi have to say after all the criticism? Well, The Hill tried to ask her on Wednesday. She apparently declined to comment. However, the recent string of Democratic losses speak for themselves. She's been failing as a leader. The mainstream media loves the Democratic establishment, so I doubt they will ever report on how unpopular their leadership is becoming. That is why we need to share it 20,000 times to get the word out. Nice one. And finally, Obama's freaking out about what the Senate might have coming for him soon, by Emily Noack. President Trump is ready to be vindicated in a major way. The Senate Judiciary Committee announced that it will be examining if former Attorney General Loretta Lynch obstructed the investigation into the Hillary Clinton email server probe. Obstruction, huh? That sounds so familiar. Oh, right. That's because they were blaming that on Trump. You see, if you want to know what evil things the Democrats are doing or have done, just look at what they're blaming Trump for, and that's exactly what they're doing. The New York Post reports that findings from the Lynch investigation could lead to the appointment of a special counsel for a new criminal investigation focusing on the Obama team. I bet the Democrats never expected that when they made up the phony Russian collusion claims to trip up President Trump. Or did they think of that? And were they trying to cover it up? Lynch's actions around the Hillary probe are extremely suspicious. Here are just the three major things that we know. During his Senate hearing, former FBI James Comey said Lynch ordered him to call the criminal investigation into Hillary a matter rather than an investigation. Why would you do that? Then Democratic National Committee Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz claimed in an email intercepted by the FBI that Lynch told the Clinton campaign she wouldn't let the email probe go too far. Don't worry, wink, wink. She's not getting arrested. Wink, wink, don't worry. Then, 3, Lynch refused to recuse herself from the email investigation after Comey raised concerns about her possible conflict of interest after her meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton. These are just a few things we know, and they're pretty bad. I can only imagine the things Lynch and the other Obama cronies did that we don't know yet. The Senate Judiciary Panel can finally get to the bottom of this rabbit hole, and they can start by subpoenaing Wasserman Schultz's email and any and all notes about the issues, the NSA recording of the Lynch-Clinton chat in the government plane, and getting Wasserman Schultz herself to testify. These claims are explosive, and they're going to be great watching Lynch hearings unfold. I agree with that. The Democrats thought they could catch up with Trump with their made-up Russia charges, but that's about to backfire big league. All I could say is thank God Hillary never got elected. Of course, the media is never going to report the criminal Democrats, so we have to share this 50,000 times so every patriot in the world knows what's really going on. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and smash that like button. But when you subscribe, there's a new thing now with YouTube. So you click subscribe, you have to hit the bell next to it. Then you're in. Subscribe, bell, done. See you guys next time. So if you like that video, you will love the one we have right there where the arrow is pointing at. Click on it, and I'll see you in a moment. Not Fake News.